Latinos Out Loud podcast. Latinos, 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 Latinos. Yeah, that's what this is. Latinos Out Loud.
Yo, LOLeros. Hi, it's your girl Rachel La Loca yet again. Wow, we are in the 400s with our episode count. It's really amazing that we are over the 420 mark. Shout out to all you 420 lifestyle people. But, to have 420 episodes of Latinos, Latinas, X, Y, Z, AB positive, whatever you want to call us, to have over 420 of these prolific, iconic, amazing culture shifters on my show, it makes my heart sing. It makes my heart sing salsa, cumbia, reggaeton, dembow, baladas, anything Latino, because like my guest today, all of these people are doing it. Like doing it. Like the Latina Energizer bunnies. They keep going and going and going. A lot of people have called me that, by the way, because the energy just is like a 9-volt battery. The ones that never die, the ones that are in the fire alarms and the smoke detectors that you only have to replace once every 27 years. Yeah, that's me. Okay, we have such a special guest today. Oh, I'm peeking. I can't get too close to the mic because I'm feeling loud and proud today for sure. Woke up in kind of a crazy mood. As they say, I don't know, Mercury's in Gatorade, y'all. So just be careful with your technology and like anything that's happening. I've broken 3 things already, that things that glue, super glue, crazy glue, gorilla glue, none of the glues. Any glue will work on fixing. But I am so excited because my guest is kind of like glue herself. She's a writer director. She's working with award winner Tim Robbins on her new show that's opening up in LA that stars one of my friends, okay, which we're going to talk about soon. Please, guys, put your hands together for Mariana Da Silva. Hi, Mariana.
You. Hi. I'm so glad to be here and congratulations on your episode count. That's incredible.
Thank you so much. I thought you were going to say congratulations on my recent Target delivery because I'm excited about that too.
Yes, things are
Can't go
both
wrong.
exciting. Yeah.
You really can't go wrong with same-day Target delivery. I have to say, shout out to Target. It's really helpful for all the moms out there that need that last minute, like Robitussin. You know what I mean? Tussin for the kids. So speaking of tossin and tussin, you're out there in LA tossin and tussin and doing your thing. Congratulations on the show. I have to tell you, Ybor City, as soon as I got the information, I'm like, oh, I know Ybor City pretty well. My family's in Tampa. I've been to Ybor City and I know a little bit of the history, but I'm hoping that this interview will open up another window and shed some more light on the history of Ybor City and just how important it is to Latino history in this country. So tell us a little bit about the show, if we can just kick off that way.
Yeah. It's so interesting to me because so many people come to the show and say that their family was from Ybor City. It's really a place where our culture began here in the United States. Often people ask like, are you Cuban? And I say, no, I grew up in Florida. And I really believe that this play is about Florida and then based on true events, right? Which is what happens within the play. But yes, so many of our people started there. It's so important. It has a long history. When I heard about the lector system that existed there, which were the readers who would read to the workers while they rolled cigars, because it was primarily a cigar, it was boomtown. It was what everybody was coming there to do, but there was people from everywhere. There were Spaniards and Italians and everybody, right? And so it kind of became this like melting pot hub, which I think really represents the Latin American experience, right? Because I think you grow up in these places where you have community, but your community is often, not from the same exact place as you, but you're living this experience of being an immigrant in America or being the child of an immigrant in America. And that's a very real experience. And so the play it has been an incredible experience because I love history. So I was able to also dig into the history. So the lector system, was a common thing. And I started writing it during the pandemic where I saw a lot of similarities between what was happening in the 1930s as well as what's happening right now, even more so now, actually. you know, this year we workshopped it last year and it felt important, and this year it feels even more because it's about migration. And so it's these people coming from Cuba who come to work in the factories and realize that the work conditions are not good, that people aren't, you know, taken care of, or that they're not getting education. And so it's there's a ghost who starts influencing what the reader's reading, and it becomes an uprising as people begin to think for themselves and educate themselves, and also just, you know, the feeling of community, the support of each other, teaching each other things so that you can improve, paying it forward. So that is all in the play, and that is all, I think, a big representation of us in America. And so yeah, so if you want any history on Ybor City, I can give it to you because I've been diving into, it's been my life for the last 2 years, you know? But it's been an incredible experience to really dig in. And there's even a line in the play where they say, why do all our stories have to happen in cigar factories? And somebody says, God, come see the show. But, you know, he says, that's where our people started. And it's very true. You know, Cameron Diaz is from Ybor City, her
No
family.
way. Had
Yes.
no idea.
Yeah, there was a day I messed up my line because my character's name is Nena Carmen Diaz. And I think I said Cameron Diaz is because it just rolled off my tongue and everybody started laughing. And then we Googled it and there it was. It's so interesting how that happens.
That's the
Um,
universe right there.
right?
Wow, that's awesome. Had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, there was so much, you know, and also Ybor City is known to be haunted, just kind of like New Orleans is, you know, for the Black community. There's the same kind of like haunting trauma that happened in Ybor City, that people go there for ghost tours and things like that. And so I love magical realism, and it kind of felt like this is a perfect way to merge history and magic, which are all my favorite things.
That's so cool and so Latino. We love ghosts. I mean, we love hate ghosts, you know? I was
Yeah,
just talking to my mom last night about an exorcism that they did at my great grandmother's apartment after she died like 30 years ago. I had no idea, but like pictures kept falling off the walls.
yeah,
And my great grandfather brought in a priest and he was like, Debemos hacer un exorcism. So they brought in like a priest, they invited the whole family, and then the pictures stopped falling off the walls. We believe in this stuff. You know,
yeah.
there's so much of that in our history. Ah, you mentioned something so interesting too, cigar rolling. It's really deeply rooted in our history. My family's from the Dominican Republic. I spent summers as a child living next to a cigar rolling factory. And I have some of the very best memories. And the smell, ay, me encanta. Not the smell of the humo, not the like smoking, but the actual smell of the factory and seeing all the workers and doing their thing and also exchanging oral stories. And that's just how some traditions are still passed down. You know, it's funny because I teach a podcasting class and we were just talking about the origins of podcasting. The origins of podcasting were oral traditions being passed down. It's an audio medium, and our ancestors started this. So our Taino ancestors, they were podcasting and didn't even know it. You know what I mean? Maybe Latinos Out Loud was around during then, like the caciques were like talking about all, you know, the like remedio casero and like, you know, how to like cure your dating life and stuff, and they didn't even know it.
And that's exactly what it is. You know, I think that that was the connection that I made was during the pandemic. I don't know about you, but I just listened to things all day, every day, and it was educating me more. And as I was becoming more educated, because you couldn't avoid the news, you couldn't avoid what was happening in the world, right? I became angrier, and it made me start asking myself, what am I doing? What am I doing to contribute to not only the solve of these things, but the issues that are happening? And, you know, and I feel like storytelling is a way to do that through healing. Like we can have these conversations a lot like podcasts, these big conversations, and then also have relief of laughing about it, you know, because we're all in it together. And I think podcasting is that. I think podcasting is today's lector system. And it's a big connection that I make within the play. And it's a big inspiration because I think, you know, podcasting is like Studs Terkel, who wrote this play that inspired this entire story called Hard Times. What he used to do was just interview people on the radio. And so then it was this compilation of he has these books that are Once Hard Times Working, of real people just talking about their day-to-day life or what their experience was. And that I heard that story of somebody who rolled in the cigar factory and how they were like having all these uprisings and revolution, and it really made me think this is exactly what's happening, right? We're listening, we're seeing, and we're activating. So I think it's incredible. Podcasts are incredibly important, and I feel that they're exactly the same thing. You're absolutely right. Our ancestors started that, and it's also about the power of education. How
Yeah.
when you can have access to education, what it can do for you. And I think access is something that we all need to be fighting more for in our community.
Well said, Mariana. I also want to give you your flowers because the convergence of history and entertainment is such a unique and entertaining collision. And it sounds like that's what you did here with the show, aside from it being the first bilingual production of the Actors Gang. So tell us about that. How is this play fully bilingual? Walk us through that experience for the theater goer.
Yeah, the play is fully bilingual. First, because I believe that that is the language we speak as Latin Americans, bilinguality, right? When we know that someone else speaks Spanish, we just start speaking and then go into English. It happens all the time to me with my friends. And I really believe that language is just a barrier that we've kept, kind of hitting on. And I in subtitles often make people not want to watch things. And I think that it's a missed opportunity because you can write like poetry and people can read that, and that be an experience. And so the show has super titles and it's a part of the show. We have incredible projections by Jihan, who's this incredible artist who's at the Actors Gang as well. So it's, we have these massive projections and they're on stage at all times. So you can always understand, but my goal is that you begin to understand in an emotional level more so than in a cerebral kind of experience, because I do believe that, when you're watching human emotion, if that emotion is real, it doesn't matter what language it's in, you understand that emotion. And I think that that's where the core of, like healing for each other is, and maybe being able to, accept and other people in other ways. And so I think I feel like everything I write is bilingual. It's a big important thing to me to really put that forward, because I think it is an expression of our culture here in the United States, and it's not. And I think we get very heady about pleasing people in the sense of, are they going to understand? Are they not going to understand? And I'm so lucky to have a mentor like Tim Robbins, who is always encouraging me to do more Spanish. He always tells me, go do more of it, because I went into the company and we do what's called a style, which is like a free form type of theater, kind of experimental, and it mixes commedia dell'arte and the states of emotion. And I always spoke Spanish on stage, and I felt like I was really being seen for that. And then it was welcoming more people who spoke Spanish because there was space for that now. And so it kind of, became this incredible experience where I heard this play. He asked me to write a bilingual play, and I have been encouraged by the people who don't speak English to go further into it. And it's been really rewarding because it's taken that fear away that, if you don't understand, even if you're a Latino, because I want the Latinos who don't speak Spanish to come in here and understand. And I know that they will understand emotionally, so I really wanted to incorporate subtitles as though you're reading a book, because this is a play about literature and the importance of it. And so it works itself out, and it's really cool because it moves with us. So, there are moments that I'm in a window, and so it's right behind me as a projection, and it follows me. So you're not kind of doing this head thing. They're incorporated in the show versus being just on the top, which is what normally happens in theater when it's in a different language.
That is so cool. Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. Emotions are a universal language. I always say, like, comedy. You know, I'm a sketch comedian here in New York City, and I just feel like I can communicate any message in whatever language because everybody loves to laugh and everybody understands whether it's slapstick or, improv, stand up, any kind of comedy. You get it. And so I wish, gosh, I wish I were in LA to see this show. It goes up on March 1st. So, LOLeros, we have a very big audience in Los Angeles. You guys have to go see it. We're going to do a call to action at the end and we'll tell you exactly how to get tickets. But aside from it going up on March 1st, you have some ancillary productions happening. Boyle Heights, like you're doing this for the community also? Mariana, tell us more about these other performances coming up.
Yeah, I like to, I always try to figure out again, how do we give access? And so I've partnered with my friends at Border Kindness, and they're buying out a matinee where we're inviting, kids from Las Fotos Project, which is an incredible organization out here that teaches young women identifying girls to photography, and then Ghetto Film School, who provides access. So we're kind of bringing in the community, we're bringing in everybody to really have them have this experience of where how I believe art I think art and responsibility in a way comes in. I really think what we consume is so important. So it's important for these kids also who maybe are scared to speak Spanish, feel more encouraged to and see how it's not a barrier in any way, and it's actually it's something that you should feel proud to express. And if you don't, you should also feel proud that your grandparents and your family have had this history here. And so we're really trying to reach kids also because of the education aspect, and the Actors Gang has all these classes that we teach in the education department in Boyle Heights, in Highland Park. And so they are also coming for their own matinee, and a school called Polytech, where a lot of their students are ESL students, are also coming. And so it's, I think it's, how it's resonated with young people has been my greatest, I believe, reward of it, to be honest. I feel that, it's also very funny, and it has some dirty jokes. And I know that when I was a 12, 13-year-old, that kind of stuff felt very exciting to me. And so,
Totally. It's like, ha, she cursed. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. And so, it's not necessarily, it's really an adult show, and it's not, I think they get what they get from it, but I think also adults who are aware of what's happening in the world right now get maybe a little bit more. And I also think the kids in our world right now are very aware. And so the play, I hope, is something that, if you don't have things that are created for you, then you can create them yourself. I think that that's what I hope they get out of it, because I would
Yes.
audition all the time. I would try to be in shows in other places, and until I got to the Actors Gang, I felt like I wasn't seen, and then now it's like Tim allowing me the space to do this has completely changed my life. And I feel like that's the responsibility of paying it forward, is how are you giving back? And so I think sometimes we give back on a one-on-one, but sometimes we also give back on gathering community. And I'm really excited to do that with the organizations that are coming in. And I run a nonprofit here called Cine, which does free film workshops for the community. And we do screenings all over LA. So also reaching into my
Love that.
community. Yeah, to get them into some theater, because the play also has cinematic elements. So I know if you're a cinephile, you'll also appreciate it.
Wait a minute. So, is there a thought to turn this into a film by any chance?
Yeah, actually, I wrote this as a film I wrote the play during the pandemic, a little bit after. I think it started really coming together in 2022. And I was able to workshop. So I was able to bring people in, and the play was developed by me asking the actors, the ensemble at the Actors Gang, which is the way we train, is very much to be able to do anything a director asks for at any moment, right? And so it's very open, it's very free. And so I would suggest things at them, and as they would act them out, I would say, okay, that's going to go on the show, and that's going to go on that show. And then somebody at one point fell under a table by mistake, and I was like, "There's a death, perfect," you know. And
I hope they're okay.
they are okay, and they often
Okay.
felt in those situations, so they are used to it. But it was, you know, it was one of those things that once I started working in community, it began to be something that felt bigger than just me. It became about us coming together, and I really believe making this play together. I'm just the one who put it in paper, I think, sometimes, you know. And I thought about how film is like that. Film is just as communal if you let it be. You know, film is a group of people coming together to explore this story, to tell this story. And so, yes, between the workshop production that we did last year, which was like a kind, you know, the first time we put it up, it's changed. It's completely different now. I'm really excited for people to come back who saw the workshop production, because now it's just as grand as it can be. But I wrote a film in between those because I thought, what would this look like as a film for me? And it's something that I now take with me while I'm directing this piece, you know. I always say, like, if this was the film, this is what would be happening. In the film, this is what happens. And I feel like the actors are really receptive to that, because all of them are, you know, film and TV actors, and they're incredible. I mean, I really have an incredible cast. I feel so incredibly lucky that these people are coming here to read my material and, you know, listen to me, tell them where to stand, and give me their ideas, because they're also brilliant. They give me so many ideas. And I think that that's also the reward of working with great people. And I feel that film, you know, is an avenue to do that again. So I would love to make an Ybor City movie. It would be a dream.
Okay, it's out there in the universe and it will
Yeah,
happen. And then you're
it
going to
will.
come back on the show and we're going to talk about the film. And maybe I'll go to the premiere and buy a nice dress from Shein and I'll be there. Okay? Or, you know, one of the other thotty stores, because that's where I shop now. So you mentioned the cast. I have to shout out a dear friend of mine who's in your cast, Raisa Licea, who is like my West Coast espejo. Like, she's a podcaster, actor, writer. I've been on her show. She's been on my show. I'm so happy that she's a part of this cast. And then some other names. And you play Nena, which is so exciting. And then we have Brent Hinckley, Miguel Angel Garcia. There's a slew of people here. I don't know if there's anyone else you want to shout out here. Magali Shakur. There's
They're
all these
incredible.
wonderful.
I mean, it's, you know, Andres Velez and Megan Stogner, who's one of the greatest actors I believe I've ever seen. And she is just an icon at the Actors Gang. And, you know, Dora Kiss and Jolene, and I have Rich and Marcy and Riza. And Riza is a key bond to this play, because Riza is, you know, she's brought in so much. She did the workshop production last year, and she created this atmosphere of fun and community. And so she is one of the workers, and she works with Marcy and Rich, who are incredible Actors Gang people, and they basically created this really fun atmosphere where they had all these inside jokes and they really bonded. And I feel that she was the glue of that bond. And it's been an incredible and really, you know, lucky experience that I've had her, because I think when you're trying to have big conversations, having comedic relief is very important. And I feel that she is the perfect person to bring in, you know, the things she says are outrageous. And so I always say, even with the super titles, go off, you know. I think actors are much more than just people who are there to say lines. They have a lot of ideas. As an actor myself, you know, I wish I had been more heard on sets that I had been on. And now I try very hard that if anybody comes to me with an idea, that I try that idea out. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but we try it, you know, because I've assembled the most brilliant people I know in a room, hopefully, and I should trust them. And Riza is somebody who really just gives and gives and gives. And Luis Quintana, who's another actor, who's, you know, the things he says, I mean, we talk about the things he says after he leaves the theater, because they're so funny. And I have had to write stuff into the play because he's just giving me gifts as he improvises, you know. And
I
so
love that.
it's been really, it's been so incredible, and they are so open, like so willing. You know, the play has these big movement pieces because I believe movement is another form of language. And so it has these beautiful, and movement is such a part of our culture as well. So we've all had to learn to do la rueda, you know, so it's been really fun. And so yeah, Riza is incredible. She's such a huge part of that, and the movement pieces add to it, and they've all been so willing. And I've been trying to do shadow play, which was something, you know, that I wrote and I never thought I would be able to do. And they are so willing. Every single person in that cast is so willing to just get up and do it. And I think that is an incredible, you know, gift that they're giving me. I mean, even the understudies, Dawn Medina, who's like an incredible understudy. She, you know, they're understudying for 3 people at once.
Wow.
So it's, and Angel, who's a new person at the Actors Gang, and it's been just incredible, you know. And the lectors too, because the play has a beat, like the machine is played live. So Maga, who plays live, we do a human machine and it's played completely live. And so even the readers, I cast 2 different readers because during the workshop, I loved what both of them did. And I thought, well, I could have one go up one night and I could have the other one go the other night, and it could be, I can direct them totally different. And I think, you know, the best part about live comedy, live theater, is that you get to do it again. So it's really fun, you know, while we're in the show, like coming up with ideas that are happening while we're working. And so, you know, Jimmy and Christian, who are the readers, they have to be playing a beat while they read. And, you know, it's something that we all have to keep practicing because it's a huge part of the show. I really believe that theater needs, you know, projections, music, all of that to
Mhm.
really resonate, I think, bigger than, you know, language, really.
It sounds so special. And it sounds like you've got all these multifaceted, multi hyphenate, multi everything people on board. Speaking of people on board, it's so funny. You mentioned Tim Robbins, like, oh yeah, Tim. Tim and I were gonna go get coffee. Tim, it's just Tim Robbins from Shawshank Redemption and Mystic River and Golden Globe winner Tim Robbins. It's just Tim, right? To you, it's just Tim. Like, what is it working? Like, what is it like working with the iconic Tim Robbins, who it sounds like he's been really pushing you and creatively challenging you, which you really can't get more than that from a mentor. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I feel so lucky. I mean, he is everything everyone thinks of him, you know, in the sense of how kind he is, how open-minded he is. He is all those things. Um, and you know, I went into the Actors Gang, and I really committed to what my ideas and my thoughts were, and how I really tried to go into spaces and say, you know, who's telling our stories here, because this is Los Angeles and we are a majority in some ways, you know. So um he's always been so receptive, and it started, usually, you know, people are in the company for years, and I was very fresh into the company, and I got in the day the pandemic started. So it felt like I was on Drag
Ooh.
Race when they're leaving and eliminated.
Oh gosh,
Like
yeah. Or
the
like,
first time I was directed by him, he just kicked, it was just like over. It was,
that's
oh
a
my,
tough position to be in. Wow. Or
yeah,
like Survivor, like, when they like
yeah.
put your candle out and you've got to like walk out on the sands. Wow.
It was, but he every week met with the company on Zoom. So we would have these Zooms, we were reading to each other, and that's when I heard the story. But we also did a Zoom play that he directed, which was of the telling of these stories. So Luis Quintana, who
Oh.
now plays Eddie, he read this story. So he's actually my lector in a weird way, because he read this story in this play, and then it created this idea in me that now has become all of this. So I always tell him he's my original lector. But Tim, I did a Dolores Huerta piece, which I think is in the play very much. You know, I think
Oh.
being tapped into her, I was doing so much research on her. Tim connected me to some people in the farm workers movement that he knew, and so I was really I had a lot of access, and I feel that Nena, who I play, is very much that character now that I see her, and the connection of when I was writing this. And he would, we do these one-on-ones, would he direct me, and I think we both have this vision that community is the most important thing and looking out for each other. And I feel that I think he saw that in me very early on. And, he is, I think I call him Tim because he is so approachable. He's at the Actors Gang all the time. And people will say to me, like, the Tim Robbins, I'm like, yes, Tim Robbins, he's there all the time. You can talk to him,
That's
Um,
great.
he's always, if he's in town and he's not shooting, his life is the Actors Gang. And
Oh, I
I
love that.
and it's been the biggest lesson to me. You can go off, you can go do all these things, but you should always come back here, because we as artists need a home. And I think until I started being at the Actors Gang, I didn't feel that. And it's, really interesting, because then when he asked me to write this bilingual play, I had the same day gone to ask him if I could write a play about Ybor City. And so it was this perfect moment where he said, do you want to write this play? I said, actually, I do have a play that I want to pitch you. And so we just started, and he was in London shooting Silo and would talk to me every week,
Wow.
go through my writing. He would read it. He would give me notes. I feel we would talk about ghost stories. We would talk about love. We would talk about all these incredible, human things that are in the play. I feel like we're both romantic revolutionaries, and that's how I maybe in a way, or not even that, but I think that's where our heart is, so I feel like it's been an incredible thing, because his notes are incredible. He sometimes looks at something that you're kind of struggling to see, and within a second he has a solution to it. I always
I
think,
mean, he is
yeah,
seasoned and experienced, and gosh, we love his acting and now directing. This seems like a dream, you know.
it,
I'm really happy for you. And now I guess my next question is, putting all this work in, and congratulations. I do hope you take a moment to really evaluate and give yourself a pat on the back. It sounds like this has been years in the making. So now, Mariana, having said all that, like, what are some things that you want the viewer to take away after seeing this show that sounds like such a passion project of yours?
I my hope is that the viewer sees themselves in the show, regardless of where they're from, or who they are, their culture, how they grew up. I think people feeling seen is something that isn't as available to us right now, in the sense that we are so digital and we are so okay being in our own worlds. We've learned to do that, and I feel that I just want I feel like when you meet Dolores Huerta, and I had the privilege of meeting her once, you
Wow.
get tapped by this energy, and it's kind of like she tags you. She tags you. She's like, you're it. You got to go now and do it,
Yeah.
And I hope that all my work does that. I feel not only Ybor City, but the other projects that I have in the making is I hope that it shows people that the human experience is the human experience, and we're all in this, and there's no difference. But it also, gives voice and history and knowledge about how our people have been treated in this country, and I think that there are people who are not a part of our community and want to learn about that. And that's what one of my goals is that people leave feeling the need to maybe see how, how they too can be a part of this community, and how they could celebrate these things, and support the immense talent that is here. I feel, there's so much talent in LA, but there is still only 4% of us on television. And it's really I think theater is a great space, and it's a space that we as Latinos haven't always it's a very white space, so
Yeah.
I feel that making stories about our culture that resonate further, and that will bring in audiences from other places and they will also feel seen. That bridge, that's what I'm hoping for, you know?
That is
Um,
so well said. That
yeah,
is so lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thanks for sharing your talent with us. So the play opens March 1st, you guys. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you can get tickets at theactorsgang.com. Let me get that frog out of my throat. Let's try that again. You can get tickets at theactorsgang.com. The play runs March 1st through April 5th. So Latinos, LOLeros, you don't have all that much time. You got to get up and go gadget. Okay, grab a friend, tell your comay, tell the mailman, the mail woman, tell the bus driver, bring everybody out. Because you know what I love, Mariana? It just, it's a project with purpose, you know? So, gosh, I just wish I could like teleport myself to LA to see this. But I do hope it becomes a movie, and I do hope maybe you bring it other places. Maybe come to New York, come to the East Coast. Come on,
that's a
Tim
big goal.
Robbins. Let's go.
Yes, we're hoping and we're planning. We were just in New York seeking that. So we would love to come to New York. And I think it would resonate immensely in New York as well because of the Caribbean.
Yes.
And yeah, it's honestly so fun. We have Bad Bunny music as well, I should mention. We have all this
Okay, that's there. There it is. It's gonna sell out. That's it.
incorporated.
There it goes. Bad Bunny mania continues.
But the funny thing is I got it covered by this incredible violinist, Chris Woods, and so he made it into these violin pieces. And so all the Latin people that are there often start like receive it and are like, "Oh wait, this is Bad Bunny." But all the other
Wow.
people, like Tim was like, "This music is so beautiful." And one of the songs is "Pa que retosen," you know, which is such a dirty song. I was like, "That is the dirtiest song ever." So please come because it's yes, it has a purpose, but it's also a celebration and a big party, we like to say, you know.
That's so great, Mariana. Felicidades. Tell the LOLeros where they can follow you on social.
You can follow me at Mari Da Silva on social media, and you can follow the Actors Gang at the Actors Gang. We're pretty simple.
That's it. There you have it. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. I mean, I love the way you speak. This is so crazy. Everything you were saying is just, it just resonates. This is the time. We need this play. We need more projects like this. This is giving us voice. It's giving me life. Thank you so much for coming on Latinos Out Loud. We support you. La puerta está abierta. So whenever there's something else that you want to talk about, come on down. You're the next contestant on The Loca is Right. Eh, Thanks so much and good luck. We hope every seat is filled. Again, you guys, get your tickets at theactorsgang.com. The theater is at 9070 Venice Boulevard in Culver City, California. I know we got some listeners out there, so drag your friends, okay? Tell them to take the 405 and just tell them to get in their cars and to go, okay? Because we need to support each other. We need unity now more than ever. And entertainment and the arts, you're going to get so many gifts, it sounds like, from this play. And Bad Bunny, need we say more? Come on. And violins, okay, I'm sold. I'm going to look for a ticket. I'm going to LA. That's it. Maybe there's somebody's maleta I can crawl into. Anyway, Mariana, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. Elueleros, that's been another episode of Latinos Out Loud. I'm so happy. We should rename this Latinas Out Loud because there's two powerful ones right now on the micrófonos. You can follow us at We Are Latinos Out Loud. You can follow me at Rachel La Loca. You can also give us a call. We have a phone number. How antiquated, right? A telephone. You could pick it up and you can call 978 Latinos. You can also send a text message if you want, a smoke signal, messenger pigeon, whatever you want. I'll receive it. Morse code. I'm fully versed. All right, you guys. Thanks so much. On that note, we out.
It's the Latinos Out Loud podcast.